Hi, this is President Joe Biden.
And this is President Donald Trump.
You know, Don, there's a lot we disagree about,
That is true.
but we both agree the Weekday Rush is the best morning show in America.
I love it. I think I probably love it more than anybody. Everyone says it's great. Maybe the greatest of all time. I don't know. Could be.
Here are 2 clips from the show, some of my all-time favorites.
Mine too, Joe. I just love the Weekday Rush so much, and we hope you enjoy these clips as much as we do.
You're still tuned in to the Weekday Rush. Folks, the other day we played a clip for you of a woman who had a demon living in her private parts.
A demon came with his penis and put it in my mouth. And then he came again and he slept with me last week, and I told the pastor that I need deliverance again. And since then my private part has been itching.
It's been itching?
Yes.
Okay. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Speak. Who are you? Check. Who are you? Look at that demon. Look at that demon. Look at that demon. Look at that demon. Look at that demon.
Now, I always like to think that there are 2 sides to every story, and obviously we know this lady's side. Joining us today, the demon himself, to give his side of the story. Here he is now. Thank you for joining us on the program, Mr. Laura Day.
You can just call me Larry. My father's really the only one who calls me Laura Dagan Ishtu.
All right, Larry, I understand that hearing that clip again is a bit traumatic for you. Can you explain your side of things? Tell me exactly what was going on here.
It is a bit traumatic to me to hear that back. It was at a very low point in my life. As you can imagine, hell is very overcrowded. There's a lot of people down there. A majority of folks usually end up there. And in the beginning, it was pretty cool. It was nice, warm weather. We had Taco Tuesdays. Dad was always out and about playing all kinds of fun games and activities. But over time, that place really started filling up. And if you ask me, it's a bit over capacity. I was tired of living in that situation and thought I'd go out to Earth, manifest myself, try and make a living out there in the mortal realm, just to see what's out there. You know, I've never really left the confines of hell, and I really wanted to experience more of the world and not lean so much on where I came from. You know, it's real easy to say, oh yeah, my dad's Lucifer, I got this, I got that, but I don't like to lean on that. I'm a bit of an independent demon, if you will, and always wanted to make my own way.
Yeah, I can understand that. A lot of people feel that way, want to get out there, make their own way. They don't want to live at home forever, certainly. Tell me, what exactly happened next?
Well, not too long after I had left out of hell, I had a friend that I was going to stay with. I had this whole plan figured out. I was going to go crash on his couch for a while until I could get my own place. I had a job interview at the Huddle House.
So how does this end up with you living in that woman's private parts?
Well, before too long, my friend got busted for some drug charges, and I was out on the street, couldn't make the interview at the Huddle House, and frankly, James, I was down on my luck, and what's a demon to do with no job, no place to live? So I found somewhere, and to me, it seemed like the place was vacant. Nobody had been in there for a long time, and it was at least warm and cozy, and I could really make myself at home there. And James, I have to tell you, it's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I look back and say that it was a good decision. It was certainly short-sighted. I just kind of did it. I was out of options, and I didn't mean any harm.
Well, it's certainly crazy times out there in the world. I can't say that I blame you for your decision, albeit it was against her will. Are you sure you really didn't have any other options?
You know, take a look around. You see, the housing market is crazy. Trying to get a place when you're single and on your own, no income. I mean, it's virtually impossible, and wages have stayed the same for so long now that even if I did get that job at the Huddle House, I'd probably still have to get a couple of roommates, and that's really the kind of lifestyle I was trying to move away from.
Well, I know what that's like, certainly. Can you speak on some of the problems that you caused the lady? Like, she said that since you were in there, that her private parts were itching.
Well, now I can actually say in my defense the itching was not my fault. While the place was pretty vacant, it wasn't well maintained. That's kind of the reason that I thought there wouldn't be any problem moving in to this location.
Larry, I can tell that you're very sincere about all this. I can hear how regretful you are about the situation. It was certainly not ideal, and I can imagine it was a rough place to live in, especially when you were getting expelled from it. But I think we can see this as a learning experience for you.
Yeah, it's something I look back on regrettably. I was a young demon, only a few thousand years old. You know, still a little hellspawn.
Hey, we've all made decisions when we were young and dumb that didn't exactly pan out or work out, so I don't think anybody can really fault you for that.
I'm older now, I'm wiser now, I'm married, I have a beautiful wife, 3 wonderful children. Life's going great for me. I'm currently head of production at Nickelodeon Studios. Things are going great, and I really wish that I could just move past that time in my life when I was really down and out.
Well, Larry, I appreciate you coming on, giving us your side of things. I just don't think it's fair when you only get to hear one person's side of the story and not the other. And now that I've heard your side, I'm grateful for it, and I feel like a better person for having you on and hearing your story.
Oh, James, thank you so much for having me on. You have a great one, and I really appreciate all that you do. Great show. I listen every day, and Satan bless you. And I hope we get a chance to talk again sometime.
Larry, it was my pleasure. I'm glad you got to come on here. I'm glad we got to hear your side of things. You love to hear a story about somebody down and out being able to become successful and move away from those bad periods in their life. And I think that's something everyone can learn from. Every man, woman, and child could learn a lesson here. And that's to never move into someone's private parts without their permission.
Holy smokes, what a great clip. This show should really win some kind of award. You know, people say to me, they say, Donald, I can't get enough of the Weekday Rush.
I really love that clip, and we have one more to play for you, another of my favorites.
Hurry up and play the clip. I can't wait any longer.
Don, I'm playing it right now. Just hold your horses.
Nobody holds horses like I do. I am one of the greatest at holding horses, maybe the greatest ever. Some people, I think, would agree with me. I hear many people saying
I'm just
it
going
all
to
the
take
time.
a quick nap.
In fact, many great people are saying. They say Donald Trump is the greatest at holding horses.
It's the Weekday Rush right here on 95.9 The Tiger, always alternative. This is a post from the internet. A dramatic reading. Today, I effed up by drinking an entire bottle of Louisiana hot sauce at a job interview in a failed attempt to be impressive. I have had a number of job interviews recently that went poorly and did not result in securing employment. I started to think I needed to do something during an interview to really stand out, be impressive, unique, and highly memorable. I thought it could be risky, but might work out. I came up with the following idea. After concluding the interview, after the handshakes, etc., when leaving the room, stop, turn around, and say, "There's one more thing you need to know about me." Then pull out a bottle of hot sauce, down the entire bottle, slam it onto the ground and say, "I can handle the heat." Nod confidently and leave the room. Boom. I imagined that they would be really impressed and wowed by such a performance. Well, it didn't pan out like I thought it would. It was only a small bottle of hot sauce. I figured it would be no big deal to actually do. I should have tested at home first, but I didn't. I was nervous during the interview, but I was determined to follow through with the plan. So I started exactly as described above. I was leaving. I turned around, maybe not with as much swagger as I'd imagined in my head, and I declared, "There's one more thing you need to know about me." I pulled out the hot sauce bottle, almost dropped it, and started to open the bottle. In my head, it was all one quick, confident motion, like an electric Indiana Jones. But instead, I fumbled around and had a tough time getting it open. It felt like a nightmarish eternity, but was probably only about 20 seconds, enough time for one of the interviewers to ask me what I was doing. I didn't answer directly. Instead, after I got the bottle open, I repeated, "There's one more thing you need to know about me," but this time stuttering. Then I guzzled down the entire bottle of hot sauce. I instantly regretted it. My mouth and throat felt like lava was swirling around inside of me. I immediately started to gag and loudly cough. I was crying involuntarily. Tears hardcore streaming down my face. I was sweating like a terrible fool. I desperately tried to scream, "I can handle the heat," but just kept coughing before I could get anything out. The interviewers were all standing, looking up at me in horror and confusion. A few seconds before I threw up all over the floor, I knew it would happen, but I tried to hold it back. I couldn't. I threw up all over the floor. It hurt as much on the way out as it did on the way in, if not more so. The vomit felt like flaming barbed wire shredding its way through my neck. I should mention, a disturbing amount of fiery mucus was also leaking out of my nose uncontrollably. After I finished throwing up, I could not bear to look at the interviewers. I hoarsely mumbled an apology and started to stumble as quickly as possible out the door. I have never been more shamed in my life. I didn't get the job. This has been a post from the internet, a dramatic reading, here on the Weekday Rush.